Hi everybody, welcome back to Educate Clone Snap channel. How you doing? So we're going to be discussing the developer update that came out today. There's a lot of good and new information that's worth discussing, so I wanted to go over it and just kind of talk about the things that are being added and some of my thoughts about it. Also, side note, gonna be busy for most of this week, so their videos might be delayed or not daily uploads, so just keep that in mind. But let's get started. So let's make sure the sound is not too crazy loud. Vibes nice. I'm thinking, is that physically possible? It is, whatever. That's fair. So Ghost Spider's the new season pass. We've definitely talked about a lot of these cards in the June update video that we've made. So if you want like the full details, it looks to be pretty good. I think it's going to be a very solid card overall. So that's cool. Nothing's really changed, right? So a lot of variants. Don't really care too much, but the people that like variants will be salivating here. A lot of cool ones. Okay. So this is interesting. Oh, something you can see like they now just have the script on the field, which is kind of funny. I'm surprised they're talking about Kunlun when they should be talking about Craven. It does the same thing, and it's not based on location RNG, so feels like you should be talking about Craven here. It's not a big deal. It's just like interesting. So some confirmation. It does only trigger once. So there's no multiple location. Bam, 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 kill everything. It only triggers once. So and it triggers the location you move it to. So there's no. So with that in mind, like it's probably balanced in well, it's a strong card, but it's probably not oppressive, and you have to be playing some move synergy, right? So I think with that in mind, right, the buff is warranted. Da, 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 da. So I don't think it tells you what got transformed, right? I think you won't know, but your opponent, I mean, obviously your opponent will know, but you won't actually know what actually is transformed. So I think that does help because if you both got to see what was transformed, that's way too strong, right? You hit the right targets and you can instantly leave. So you gotta appreciate the vibe. So on mage, your first card you play here gets +3 power and moves. Obviously, this is a huge human torch. But really, any card that takes advantage of extra power, right, can take advantage of it. I guess it's a lot of move deck as well, right? Because move is also its own. It's like an actually benefit here. So yeah, when this is a feature location, you're probably gonna see nonstop move decks. So you probably want to have some ways of dealing with that. I don't even know exactly how you would deal with that. Right, it just reminds me of Biofrost being the feature location is just non-stop moves, and there's not a lot of easy answers. This is even better for that. So, gonna be a fun week or a fun day. That one also seems very moves synergy, but way more RNG because it's one card for both players. So let's say you're both playing move decks. If it just targets your cards every time you win, so that one seems way more toxic. Where the at least the other one, both players can control the outcome. Here, it's just like, oh, it hit him 4 out of the 6 times, or 3 out of the 5. You know, that kind of thing. Oh, okay, that's really interesting, right? So it's Spider Ham and Spider Man 2099 that's going directly to Series 4. So that means Silk is the one going to Series 5. That's actually funny to me because I would say maybe Silk is like the one I would most expect being Series 4, and that's the one that's actually Series 5. So I do think a lot of people will be going for Spider Ham, especially being only 3,000 tokens. That's definitely a meaningful purchase. So probably cheap enough that it's going to affect the meta. So Spider Man 2099 also pretty cool, but it's definitely more restrictive where you can put Spider Ham in a lot of decks. So they're really adding a lot of playable one drops, right? Nebula, Kitty, Sunspot still playable, and then Spider Ham coming up as well. So yeah, pretty surprising to see Spider Ham being the one being in Series 4. So yeah. That yeah, that sounds way more like Ben. Who's the other guy? I can already tell this needs its own video. Like that, the explanation's good enough, but it's not that clear. But you're probably gonna have to wait until it actually comes out to really know the full details. I know some details already in that, but let's hear the whole part. Okay, that's interesting. So, final thing gets you an infinite border. I think that's pretty cool. It's basically bragging rights, but I assume this um this feature already is mostly for people that care about bragging rights. It's for like the very competitive people to win that one. So I'm kind of fine. There's not like reward system by playing the mode itself. You'll get medals, and you can use the medals to get the reward. So you don't necessarily have to, win this particular infinite gauntlet 5 wins in a row, which seems very difficult, by the way, to get all the rewards. So essentially, the main point is the medals. Let me move my camera. But you can see that you'll get medals for completing it. And the medals are for the shop. So there's an entry fee. So I believe this entry fee is in replace of a ticket. Let's go back a little bit. Yeah, so you'll see these tickets here. So if you don't want to do these conquests, right? So to get this infinite ticket, you have to get 3 wins in a row in battle mode, to get the ticket. And if you don't want to do that effort, you can just pay. Now the price is expensive, right? You're paying 200 gold for gold, and you're paying 500 for infinity, and you lose in infinity. One loss, you're out. So you can spend 500 gold, lose once, you're out. And in order to get that infinity gauntlet, you have to win 5 in a row. So using your gold for these tickets seems pretty expensive, to just go for that risk. So you're probably going to be wanting to just grind up in the proving ground to get the ticket in the conquest. So it looks like the proving grounds free, or does that cost gold, right? Like, does that cost like 20 gold or something, right? Because you can see the silver is 80, and then 200, and then 500, right? So if the proving ground is free, as long as you're willing to do the work, you can probably grind up like 10, 20 tickets, and then use the tickets to grind up the silver, and then use the silver to grind up the gold, right? So you don't have to be running gold, which is probably a good idea, because if you have to pay gold, then you're just like, you're going to be bleeding gold if you're playing this like constantly, which I think a lot of people will be doing, especially for the first season. So hopefully you can just grind up forever in the proving grounds if you need to. It also means that this last infinity conquest is only for the last week, so you're not going to be able to do this day one. You have to wait until the last week of the season, and then you can play in this infinity gauntlet. So it's not going to be a very common thing, and when it comes out, like, everyone's going to be jumping on that one. So pretty interesting in terms of the medals. You're not going to be getting, like, for gold, like 370 medals if you go in, right? So if you win one, you'll probably get like 100 or something. If you win two, you'll probably get like 200 or something, and if you win the third one, you'll get the medals. So if you don't win, you're not getting the medals. So and the medals are what's going to be used in the shop. So there's a lot of like small details in this conquest that probably needs its own video, but it's going to be something for players to do once, like if they're not looking for infinite, right? So I'm already in infinite and stuff like that, and it's like, what do I grind for? This is something we can grind, which is just helpful for those type of players that need a goal, right? Because like random, there's no leaderboards yet, so there's not really a goal in that aspect. Even leaderboards wouldn't really make sense with all the bots still, if you're like high enough. So this is definitely seems interesting because I don't think there's going to be any bots in this. There's no way, right? So definitely seems like a fun thing to do if you want to have like that very competitive mode. So pretty happy about this one. It said next patch, which is probably like middle of June, so maybe like 2 weeks or so. But yeah, pretty interesting. And then you can see some of the rewards that they have here. So there's a title and boosters, which don't really care about, but there is gold. Yeah, so if you're not you using gold to get in, you can get extra gold, which is nice. And let me see. So there's a mystery variant of tickets, credits. So you can get some credits, you can get some gold. More credits, more tickets, more boosters, and then there's a variant here, and then more credits. So it looks like you can get some credits, 200 gold, and then some tickets, and then an avatar. So it looks like this gives you 750 credits, 200 gold, some green goblin, a green goblin variant, and a green goblin avatar. So some cool stuff, not like game changing. So if you don't participate in this, you're not losing like crazy amounts. Maybe you want the gold, right? Maybe you do some effort to get the gold, but the rest of it's like you don't really need to grind too hard. All right, pretty cool. Let's see the end of it and see if there's anything more. Okay, that's cool. I think that's the end. So another thing to note is he does say my sources says more changes are on the way, but they're not quite ready to share yet. So they still are working on some things. This isn't like the final piece. They're just still working on. So that's like talking about the roadmap and some of the ideas they had in the roadmap. Right, they're still working on it. It's just not ready to share. So cool. Looks like a lot of cool things here. Right, the conquest mode, I at least for me is what I'm the most excited to see. But I also really like that they're adding 2 cards directly into Series 4. Right, they're making things a little bit cheaper for players. Right, that's saving 6,000 tokens. Obviously, you don't buy every single card, so for most players, you're probably saving like 3,000 tokens, which is a lot per month if they keep it up, right? So we're gonna have to see whether this is like a one-time thing, just a flash in the pan, or if this is just part of their new structure. If it is, that's really cool. So definitely have to see it, but excited for that to be more of the future because it is hard for people to keep buying everything, right? Because right now you have this gold, but you can't really use it for variants if you want to progress, right? And you want to have people buying the things they like, using their gold for variants, etc., etc. So hopefully, this video has definitely gone long. I'm always the longest video for any topic among the community members. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. I'll definitely see if I can find some more. But yeah, once again, I'm going to be busy this week, so don't know how many videos we're going to get this week. But hope you guys enjoy this one. Take care of yourselves and have a wonderful rest of your day. Once you watch him, you won't go back. He'll teach you to marvel snap. Your skill